Hey, welcome to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We are headed out for a day hike today at the Washington Irving recreation area. There's a campground there and some trails and some just beautiful views of some rocks and cliffs. Go for a little hike with this little girl back here and see what we can find. As we pulled into the campground area, it was pretty empty with the exception of two notable visitors. One was a hospice nurse that was staying in a little pop-up trailer. There's obviously a shower and toilet there. And we assumed that the hospice nurse was probably quarantining themselves from their family while they were treating patients. Up on the hill here you can see a truck with a trailer. Gentleman might be living out of his trailer, so we found some adventurers there. This area is titled the Washington Irving Recreation Area, and there's a scenic trail by his name as well. And if you look up Washington Irving, one of the first things you'll find that he was an adventurer and writer. From the age of 14, he was skipping his formal learning and going and adventuring. We did not have sunny conditions today as we were hiking and taking pictures and videoing, and it sort of fit our mood for the day because we had just watched Nomadland the evening before. And we found it kind of a sad film, mainly because of how it was presented, as if everyone who was a nomad had lost in some way in the American economic system. And I'm not sure that's completely an accurate reflection. While the movie definitely highlights weaknesses in the American economic system for some people, I can see this lifestyle of being a nomad as adventure. So this is a picture of Washington Irving. He was definitely an adventurer, and it was supposedly in this place that he crossed the Arkansas River. And today there were also some other adventurers in the park, and here are some little pictures of their setup. Last year when we took a hike through this area, there were some other adventurers. There was a gentleman in a tent who was staying there, and it was clearly his tent was just packed full of belongings. And it was bursting at the sides, and there was a bus there and a family, and the kids were out gathering wood for a fire. There were some migratory birds out on the water, both flying and swimming. Some were just maybe trying to seek some protection. So we're leaving the Washington Irving recreation area after a short hike, and this year it's actually a little bit different than last year. Last year there were some clearly people living in the recreation area and in the campground. You know, the campground was seasonally closed. They allowed people to camp there for $10, and my wife and I had come back one night, and we just found that there were people living there, and we were a little bit surprised at how messy it was. Actually, it wasn't. It was a Army Corps of Engineer campground, and it was a little bit surprising to actually see it in such disarray. And this time, obviously, there are people living there too. The work cars that were there and the trailer that was there kind of indicates that someone is actually working from the campground or living in the campground. And I have some real mixed feelings about that. There's a part of me that wishes that the American dream would work for everyone, but it doesn't. I have been very lucky that in my profession that I have always had a job. Not the best job, but a job. Been able to pay the bills and keep a roof over my head and my family's head. But that is not working for everyone right now, especially in the middle of the pandemic. But when we were here a year ago, there were only hints of the pandemic, and the economy had not yet been affected by it. So even though the disarray from last year was a little bit more intense, this year, clearly people are still living there. It's a little nicer, a little cleaner, but this American dream thing is not working out for everyone.